Thank you for tuning in to the Helium Radio Network. You are listening to a rebroadcast of a previously recorded show.
Welcome back to Sessions with Sarah with Dr. Sarah. I'm here with Laurie Gerber from the Handel Group, and she is a woman of many, many trades. She teaches people how to pursue their truth, what they want to do in life. She's a life coach. She's been on the Today Show, MTV. You've been everywhere, girl. And my dream is to be on the Today Show.
It was interesting. I was on a couple times. It's a hoot.
Who were you on with?
I was on once with Kathy Lee and Hoda. I was on once with Al Roker. And then there's one other person I was on with. I can't remember. Just different things over the years, talking about different important topics, which I do remember Kathy Lee, though. She was hilarious. And is it even the Today Show with Kathy Lee?
No, she's gone. Now it's Jenna Bush.
This was a few years back, and she coined a new term called the chicken brat. So we talk about the chicken and the brat as these two voices in your head.
Oh, what is that?
Get in the way of your, effectiveness. And she just she was like, we're gonna call it chicken brat from now on. Okay, take it away, Kathy Lee.
Yeah. And that's like the inner voices. I mean, a lot of people have those. Mine never shut up, and it's tough in especially doing our businesses where we're doing a million things and going a mile a minute, So what has been the biggest thing going on for, that people been wanting to be coached about in COVID?
Well, to your point, just to give you a fun statistic, it has been estimated that human beings have between 12 and 60,000 thoughts a day.
Okay.
Of which 80% are negative.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I think the coasts actually are higher. Like, I think that's an average. Okay.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't say 20% positive, right? I think it's like, another 18% neutral, like take a left at the corner, I need to get apple juice. Right. And then, so you can do the math of how many positive thoughts we're having a day.
Probably
and then it's estimated that 95% of our thoughts are repetitive. So you're just not having a new thought. Like, we're not having new thoughts. We're not having many positive thoughts at all. And that's incessant. Like, it's like you're swimming in a pool, right? And it's all the time, and we don't have any facility with that. And then you add on crazy political climate, crazy social issues, climate
in general,
before our very eyes, and a pandemic.
Yeah, no big deal.
Like, anybody who was keeping it together is now no longer keeping it together, and they're home, with their partners, figuring out if they actually like their partners or not, or home alone without partners and going, holy crap, this is not acceptable. Like, all the things that distract me from my loneliness are now not available. And addictions are back, binging is back, like all of it. So, humans need all the basics even more than ever, all the basics of connecting with one's truth, managing one's mind, and sticking to practices that make you feel good, which everyone has their own version of that, but everyone needs to figure that out and get the right prescription.
I know, it's true. It has been a tough year. I mean, like you said, I'm the latter. I don't have anybody here. I had my parents here for a little while during the pandemic, because they were in Florida. So they came home for a while. They're back there, vaccinated finally, but drives me crazy to have everybody around. I have decided I am very good on my own in my own house. I don't need any distractions. I like my dogs, and that's about it. And
some people are thrilled to have
and I listen to all these people who are in relationships, and then they are starting to hate the other person, and it's not going to work out. So many divorces and relationship breakups to come 2021 for sure. Don't you think?
It's for sure. I've already seen it. I've already seen the divergence happen of, okay, this is what we learned in the pandemic. We don't belong together, to like, oh my gosh, we need to work on this and let's make it the best it's ever been.
Yeah.
So I think there's that. I already have been seeing a lot of breakups. There is a little bit of a like, well, let's wait until, we can actually move or whatever. But it's already underway.
Well, speaking of that, you did an article about the role of sex in relationships. I wanted to talk to you about that because nothing's more fun than talking about sex. So.
Agreed. It's one of my favorite topics. I do a show every morning at 9 a.m. on Instagram and on Taboo Tuesdays. It's not Tuesday today, but on Taboo Tuesdays, we always talk about a taboo topic. And we do sex about every other week. So it's like,
oh my God, I love
always
it.
the one that gets the most clicks for some reason. So it's one of my favorite, it's one of my favorite topics. So ask me anything.
Okay. So this spurred out of because of your 20-year marriage. And
it is a 20-year-old. Yeah.
And like, which makes sense. Like even when I've dated in the past, you just kind of lose that spark. But you kind of learned a way to kind of rekindle that spark with your husband. So do you have any advice for people who might still like their partner after COVID and want to continue to have sex?
Yeah. I mean, I have so much to say on this topic. First of all, the whole concept of lost your spark is something that we rail against. Like we are the antidote to your feeling of that the weather is happening to you. Right. Like, so if you're, we call it being a weather reporter. If you're like, the love has disappeared, the sex has dwindled, whatever, like we're not in love anymore, right? Like we say these sentences that come from our brains that are mostly negative.
60,000 thoughts a day.
Exactly. And we're just like the victim of it. And we don't, so the first thing we do in coaching is we go, hey, slow down, hold on. You're actually generating all those thoughts.
Okay.
It's not true. And I remember this too, because my first Handel Group encounter with Handel Group coaching was after many years of therapy and self-help and books and courses and gurus and yoga and all of that.
You've done it all.
I tried a lot of things and nobody in all that time was ever like, you're not thinking right. Like you're thinking wrong. No, because I can talk well and think well. So like, I guess I just scared people off of ever questioning how I was thinking. So I was like, I was exactly the exact stereotype of I had 2 little kids. It had been hot in the beginning, but it was like, why? I already got you. We're married. This was 10 years into a relationship, maybe 5 years into our marriage, 2 kids in, right? 2 little kids in. I'm busy. I'm tired. It hurts. I don't care. What have you done for me lately? We have to just the exact.
I like the it hurts.
What, right? I mean, I'm just giving you the top 10 most common excuses, right? And then the reason I'm saying is like, there was such a change so quickly when I came to coaching, because for the first time I was asked, what's your dream? And when I had never thought about that. I was like, I just don't want to fight, right? There was no dream. There was no like, what could it be like? You know what I mean? Like before I met him, I had a dream. Like, go on long walks and we'll have talks and it'll be so intimate and then we'll have this great sex and I'll like fall asleep when it's like I had dreams once, but then life happened and I was like,
it's over.
Like I just want to have a good career, make some money, feel like a decent parent. I was not doing great at those either, but but I had really forsaken that. I was like, I checked off the box and I just put it aside. So the first thing she does is go, what's your dream? And so now I feel my heart, and that's
you're like, what?
Right. Like the weather is like, oh shit, the weather does not match the dream. Right. So we have a pickle. And then she goes, this is what killed me. She goes, the only thing that differentiates a marriage from a friendship is the sex.
Makes sense.
And I'm like,
the light bulb went off.
So like, she's like, it's not acceptable. Like, that's not a thing to stop having sex with your partner. Like, unless you want them to leave or have sex with someone else. Like, you're great. Like, what do you, and nobody had ever said that to me. It was not my experience it was not, I didn't have that as a frame of reference or way to think. But I couldn't argue when she said it. I was like, that's not my dream. And it's also not okay. And then huge insight, like, how must it be for him? Right. It's not like he's not attracted to me. It's not like he doesn't want to have sex. It's not like he's not ejaculating.
No, all the men want to do all the above.
Yeah. And it's not like, and it's not like I don't theoretically want to have the intimacy that comes from that, the pleasure that comes from that, the connect, like, so I was just checked out. So long story long, the tip I have is, and this is all, like, this is our methodology. The tip I have is tell the truth about what you want. Maybe you're in a relationship and you're gay and you want to be out of that relationship, or maybe the truth
that could happen.
It happens all the time. Or maybe you want an open relationship, or maybe you want something kinky that you've never been able to say before, or maybe you just want to start having sex again. Like, I don't know what the truth is, but for me, the truth is I wanted connection.
Okay.
I wanted a dream relationship, which includes sex if it's a marriage.
Yeah.
And so I had to tell the truth about that. I had to hear what I was saying in my head that was not consistent and not helpful to the dream.
No.
And then I had to start having sex again. And then the coach said the other silly thing that cracked me up, which was lighting candle, Laurie. Sorry, am I allowed to curse?
You can totally do that. She probably told you to get a nice Brazilian wax too.
I mean, the joke is the joke is actually my husband and I do not do any grooming, and we don't care. Like, the joke was all you had to do is light the candle. Like, it wasn't, there's nothing inherently wrong with our bodies or our relationship or our ability to even have a good time. It was like, we just canceled.
Done.
Yeah. And so light a candle was her joke way of being like, it's not a big deal. Dogs do it. Right. I remember she said that dogs do it. Like, are you sure you can't just
get it done?
Yeah. Just like, see if you see if you like it, like, just get back on the horse,
Yeah.
And so I did. And I was so proud of myself, I was like so proud of myself. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do it. I might as well make it good. So then you start going, oh, what do I like? And what do I need? And what kind of lube? And, blah, blah, blah. And then you see how happy your partner is. You see how happy your partner is. You see how good it makes everything else. And you're like, I guess this is a good idea. Like brushing my teeth. I guess I should do this.
Well, did you feel like less stressed too? I mean, sex does that.
It helps everything. There's not a bad aspect to it. There's nothing bad about it. It doesn't take a long time. It doesn't cost anything. It helps every biological function. It helps every psychological function. It helps every emotional function. It helps every spiritual function. It helps your relationship. It makes your kids happier. It's like across the board, probably the best prescription I can give.
Give anyone, and you don't have to take it, and there's no side effects.
No side effects except the positive ones that I just yeah.
Well, leading into that, from sex to, what's your advice for people dating in COVID? I can tell you, I am not dating anyone currently because this sucks. Like
let me tell you how the weather is, Laurie. It sucks.
It just sucks, Laurie. It's like, well, I'm a person who's always out and about. I was traveling all the time to Nashville. We were doing a show. I mean, I meet hot celebrity guys who are single all the time. Never works. But now it's like, okay, now I'm sitting at my house and I'm on Hinge in my hot tub, which somebody else should be in with me, right? So, and I'm scrolling.
Not a bad image so far. Okay.
Yes. yes. So I'm scrolling, but I'm looking at these guys and they're just jackwagons, like total tools. Nobody I would talk to. I feel weird doing it. Mm-hmm. And then like, if you kind of like swipe and you like somebody, you get a weird message like, this is a great opener, fellas. Hi. Works well. So I got off that and I decided to just focus on doing this for now. And hopefully maybe we'll, podcasting, I'll meet somebody.
Maybe they will come to me on a silver platter.
Yeah.
I mean, it does happen occasionally. It's just not the best plan. It's not the best. Okay. So you ready for the coaching?
I am.
Same basic idea. First, come up with a dream.
Okay.
Now, if you imagine like a vessel to fill, your vessel is filled with complaints and bad weather, right? Like your vessel, like they suck, this sucks, it sucks, the other sucks, everything sucks.
I admit it.
Okay, the only thing that's good is my hot tub and my career. And I'm just going to focus on that.
And my dogs. That's
my dogs. You love your dogs. You love your dogs.
You.
Okay. Now, really, what we should do is take away your dogs in your hot tub. In fact, we tried that once with a woman. We were like, if you don't have the love of your life by the end of the year, you're giving away your dog.
I love it.
And it was like, oh.
I better ride that horse.
Listen, right? It was the same thing as one of the very first things my coach did was like, oh, you want to get back into a relationship with your husband? No more sugar. Like no more eating sugar. And I was like, as soon as I gave up sugar, I was like, is there a person I could hug? Like, is there a person I could hug? Like, do you know what I mean? Like I took away the diversion.
Right.
I took away the crutch. So you are diverted by your career and by your, whatever else you like, your dogs and whatever else you get your affection, your love from, maybe your parent, I don't know. But unfortunately what that does is it anesthetizes us to the dream or to that voice of your heart. That's like, knock, 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 knock. For most people around like 43, 44, 45.
Oh my God, might be my age. Can't admit it or not. But
can't say. I'm just talking in general about people, you know, the heart is like, excuse me, like you cannot freaking ignore me anymore. And sometimes that happens by an injury or an illness or something bad. Like sometimes.
That's funny you say that. That's funny. I don't mean to interrupt, but that's funny you say that. 2 years ago, next week, I was in a major car accident. So I don't know if you've ever heard about that, but I rolled over 3 times. And that's when I was like, I was very lucky to walk away with a couple of injuries, nothing to say. But it took me up until last February, a year later, to start feeling myself. And now I finally started working back out. Like I was really, because I played tennis at UConn. So I started back really exercising this past November. And this is, and now I feel like myself again. So
welcome back to yourself and to your femininity and to your lovability and to your dateability.
She was dead for 2 years for sure.
She was on hiatus. She was having a little midlife crisis or something. Okay. So it does keep bugging you if you don't listen. And so you need a dream. And we have Inner You Love, which is our digital program that covers everything love, sex, and dating. So we have a dating program and we have a regular life program. The regular life program covers everything for every human at all times, like all the basics. Love is a zoom in on love, sex, and dating. And the first thing you do is you figure out what your heart really wants. And you very carefully and rigorously remove all of that negativity. Right?
We got a lot to do.
You heard my list of excuses why I didn't want to have sex. You have the same thing, right? And you have like, and that happened, and module 3 in Inner You Love is your history. So you can be like, oh, these 17 things I'm mad about. It's not 1,000. It's like,
it's true though.
3 things your dad did, 1 thing your brother did, 1 thing your ex did, 7 things your other ex did. Like actually makes sense when you lay it out. So we lay it out. So you're like, okay, I know what I want. I see why I'm so messed up about it.
Yeah.
These things, it's not a million things. It's not that there's no good ones out there. My God, Sarah, if you exist, your person exists.
I hope so.
If you don't believe it, you will prove it. Okay.
All right.
Principle number 2 about thoughts. What you believe, you prove.
Okay. What's that?
That's literally, we teach this at MIT. Okay. And MIT has substantiated the notion that the reason why researchers have to imitate experiments around the world and get the same results is because the observer biases the results. The observer actually, what they think is going to happen in an experiment causes the thing to happen in the experiment. The thoughts cause it. So you have to keep repeating experiments in order to solve for our bias, because of the billions of inputs we could be observing and remembering. We only consciously remember all the, what'd you call them? Dickwads? Like we only remember
jackwagons.
Jackwagons. That's what it was. Is that a Boston thing?
No, I think
do men listen to this? I'm mortified if men hear this. So we're being so terrible. So your brain, this is like scientifically proven. It's not even your fault. Your brain is consciously detecting and remembering jackwagons and ruling out all the
so funny hearing you say that.
All the great guys. Well, I want it to really sink in. This is for you, Sarah. So you're biased. It's unconscious bias. Everyone's talking about it. It happens with race. It happens with love. It happens with your mother, right? Like you have a bias and you are selectively remembering and storing and noticing that which confirms your theory and ruling out that which doesn't. So I was like, sex is hard. Sex, nobody's having sex. Like I had data galore. But it wasn't true. It wasn't true that it was hard. None of it was true. So imagine there's actually millions of great guys on the dating sites.
Probably.
But you're like too annoyed to be bothered. Like you're too, and you're annoyed.
So right.
And that attitude is not attractive. Sorry. Yeah. Like, no, what guy wants to, woo a girl that thinks he's a jackwagon? Like, it's not, and it's just bad vibes, right? So, you get to be right because you put out the bad vibes, you get the bad vibes or the weird vibes back. Yeah. And then you get to sit on your couch and play with your dogs.
I put myself right daily. Done. Yeah. Right? No, but that's really cool that you say that. It's true. And I mean, I'm aware of it on my own, but hearing you say it just like drives it home. It's like the light bulb goes off, It helps to hear someone else say it. And love's the most important thing. That's the other thing I was willing to avoid. Like I was going to be like, career's the most important thing. But really, think about that. Like, is it? No, it's definitely not.
Like, it's important. I think your contribution to humanity is pretty darn important. But like what people really care about is their relationships.
Right.
Love and being like experiences of intimacy in life is what people really want, need, crave, care about. And we just try to pretend we don't.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. But like when you go into different, like say if I go into dating, what kind of standards should I have for when I'm stopped being negative?
Oh Lord, let's say I was gonna change my attitude. Now what? Am I getting to you? Or are you gonna? Is this a real life possibility?
I'll be like calling you and be like, "Hey, guess what?
Girl, do it. This works. Like we've tried this. Remember, we teach this at MIT, Stanford, Yale. It works with academics. It works with stay-at-home parents. It works with actors and actresses. It works with lawyers. It works in corporate America. It's like tried and true. We've tested it many times. Okay, so. The next module in Inner You Love, you're going to articulate your head, your heart, and your hoo-ha criteria. Your head, your heart, and your hoo-ha criteria. And by the way, on Instagram, I'm on Instagram, which is Laurie Gerber _coach. On Instagram, I've got gobs of recordings about this topic. The three ages, head, heart, and hoo-ha. So anybody who's like, what are they talking about?
What the hell is going on, you two?
There's tons of free content on this topic.
Okay.
Because it does take a minute. Like it takes a minute. And here's why. So I ask you, what does your head want? What does your heart want? And what does your hoo-ha want? Like, head, I want them to live in my neighborhood. I want them to want children or not want children. They have to like dogs, right? Like head has its criteria. Then heart has its criteria.
Okay.
Sense of humor. They sparkle. They love long walks and talks. They're honest, like heart. And then there's hoo-ha, right? For me, now, many people get messed up on hoo-ha.
They want attractiveness?
Well, no, they think they want something in particular. Like they have an idea in their head from Disney movies or whatever.
Oh, okay.
They have an idea of how a person should look. And just think about that, humanity, right? Like
me.
So you have that. Yeah.
But I have learned that the prettier they are, the more I'm dating the same person. So I did learn.
It's an interesting thing, right? Like what is real. And that's why I was going to say why it takes a little bit to really study the three ages and really be with yourself about it and kind of give yourself some time to think it through is because it's not usually your first answer of what you're attracted to. Usually that first answer is something that was given to you by external forces. Or a reaction to something or like an entitlement to something rather than, but what am I really attracted to? So I always thought I wanted blue eyes. Right. And and I was like, because I remember watching like John Travolta as a kid or I don't know, like some certain movie star. And it got like imprinted on me. Like that's what good looking is. And then what I realized was that I wanted to have a certain feeling when I had my head on his chest. Right. Like that was actually what the swagger was important to me. The feeling was important to me. I needed a certain amount of muscle. That was important.
Totally John Travolta, right?
I did not marry John Travolta in the end, but my point was like all of the little details I thought were important were not. It's
so true. Yeah, I agree with that.
So for folks who are taken on a ride with their hoo-ha, you really do have to drill down and go, but if this person was amazing and worshiped me and was honest and wanted to be intimate and was brave and like whatever, do I really care how tall they are? Do I really care how big their penis is? You know, like,
Well, maybe.
Maybe some people really do, and some people think they do, but they actually don't.
Well, if you see a teeny little, you know.
But there are men with teeny little who deserve love and should have love. Like that's not. It's like saying a woman with a flat chest is not worth. Like it's
thank God I'm not.
Tell me what you really think about boobs and dicks. Okay. She likes them all big, people. That's what she's into. Okay, but I'm talking to the rest of the planet, Sarah. It has all shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
And then if everyone's looking for a 10, a Bo Derek or whatever, you know, like if everyone's looking for John Travolta, whatever you're
John Travolta.
You can hear how old I am with these examples. Then who's dating humans? Like who's actually dating humans? Okay. So you better figure out, first of all, you better figure out how to get yourself looking great. Everybody who's listening, right? Like figure out how to look your best for you.
Right.
And then figure out what you're actually really attracted to. And lighten up about all that, because it's so much, you'd be surprised at how attracted you'd be with somebody who wants to talk to you about everything and wants to go there with you and has other qualities that you actually find attractive.
Right.
And I could give you this speech for head and heart also, right? Like I just happen to give you hoo-ha because it's your area of interest.
I look like a hoo-ha type chatter.
No, you just said, you know, that hoo-ha's your
well, you had like prior to
area.
All the shows. I had a show. It was in the SAP with Dr. Sarah about 5 years ago, and all we talked about was sex and relationships. So
nice.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, I find too, like if I have an honest conversation with my husband, then I want to fuck him. Like what? That has nothing to do with how he looks. It has nothing to do with how he looks.
Well, no, that's so true. Like I've had like I said before, I've had these good-looking guys, and there's just nothing to them. Like. A couple of years ago, I brought one to my sister's wedding, and I heard him complain that the airline lost his bag one more time that night, I was ready to throw him out the window.
Well, just remember, people who rely too heavily on their hoo-ha factor don't necessarily develop head and heart. Right. And you want to, like, I would prefer to find some, like, I found my husband when I was quite young. He had all the raw materials I needed, but like, he looks totally different now than he looked then. Like we molded and shaped each other. People can change how they look a lot.
Yeah.
You can change almost anything about how you look, which is remarkable. Right. So you really might want to find a person you like the feel of, you like the way they act, you like the way they treat you. Right. And then you can mold the look a little.
Yeah. That's so true.
There's like a certain shirt he wears and I'm like, hubba. And other shirts, I'm like, ew. So things you can change, you know?
There's a sex night shirt and a not sex night shirt.
Just saying.
You choose.
I have it too, right? He has that for me too, right? There's things he likes and things he doesn't like. And there's a lot of it you can work with. There's very little that's unchangeable.
Right. It's true. It's true. But this is all great advice because I know how I think and I know I joke here, but like, I do know what you're saying to me. I definitely get that.
To you.
I definitely
and you have to ask yourself too, the deeper questions about head and heart too, because like, I thought I needed to marry a Jewish guy. Like, okay, my head said that. And then when I thought about it, or my coach asked me about it, no, I didn't have a coach back then. When I thought about it, that was too long ago. I was very young. When I thought about it, it wasn't true. Like I wanted to give my kids certain traditions that I had, but that did not require marrying a Jew. And I married the son of a Presbyterian minister. And we do Jewish traditions. Of course you did. It's exactly. So it was like, so for everyone who's like, it's got to be this and this and this and this. Right. And this, I implore you, it's like 3 things and it's not what you think. Like take a minute and and then that opens your pool up so much and it lightens your attitude so much. And then when you go on the sites, you're like, oh, I wonder what's here. I'm not going to stop until I find at least 3 awesome people and and you're going to start ruling out instead of ruling in all the jack wagons. Instead of
we'll have a Tuesday about that.
Exactly. You're gonna just like not even notice them because you're now proving the theory that all the good men are on the dating sites because it's COVID. Perfect.
They are.
All the good men are on the dating sites. You just need to write a really good fucking bio, profile, whatever they're called these days. You need to write a really good fucking promo for yourself. Right. that attracts the right ones, and you need to not mind or care. Like, I live in New York City. There's like so much stuff I pass on the street that I need to not care about. That is like harmful, dangerous, ugly, smelly, scary. So I know how to keep my freaking blinders on to get where I want to go.
Right.
Why don't
It's
you?
true. Right. It's so true. And I mean, this is such good advice. I have so many other friends. Like, I'm annoying, as we can see, about dating. You can see that. But I have other friends like in their late 30s, they're single, they're career women. And like, I have this one, she's always like, oh, she's going to kill me, but I don't care. She's so desperate to meet someone. Sorry. You know who you are.
We didn't say your name.
I'm not going to say your name.
But you represent a lot of humans, though. You do.
But she's like, how do I date? How am I ever going to meet anybody? I go, listen, I was your age once. And, you know, you just keep dating or you don't. And you just do you for a little while and it will come. You cannot force it. And you cannot. This is the thing. She's so, like, I'm not going to say her name, but like last week, she must have been scrolling through Facebook, saw a guy that she may or may not know. He's divorced with 3 kids. And I said, this is a really bad idea. There's no reason for you to be DM messaging a guy with 3 kids when you're a single lady and you have so much to give. But people become so desperate. Sorry. I don't really.
All right. Is there a question in there? Or is it just?
No, but why do I guess why do girls do that? Why do they go searching for something they don't want? I guess is my question.
Because they feel desperate, right?
Am I right?
You feel desperate because you think your time is running out and you think there's scarcity. And you've been proving that there's scarcity, unfortunately, by your actions and your thinking, right? So it really does seem scary. Mm-hmm. But I have really good news for you.
Okay.
There are literally billions of single people and more every day.
Yeah.
More new.
Especially from COVID.
Literally more every day. So any thought you have about scarcity is BS. It's not true. It's like me saying having sex with my husband was hard or not necessary. It's a lie. It's a lie.
Right.
So what's really true, let me give you the news flash. What's really true is you're a chicken.
Me?
You don't want a human. You're like, me? You're a chicken, meaning you don't want to deal with intimacy, or you don't want to have to tell about the herpes or whatever.
No, not the herpes.
Whatever most of the population does. So we can.
They do.
You know, you're a pharmacist. Okay. So, whatever that is for you, or that you had a mastectomy, or that you haven't had sex in 3 years, or you like men and women, whatever, like whatever your secret is that you're scared, someone will find out. Okay. Right. You're not as rich as you look. You're richer than you look. Who knows? Everybody's got their thing.
Everybody's got their thing.
Everybody got their thing, that they're scared, actually scared of intimacy. Is that really so shocking that humans are scared of intimacy?
No.
So the truth is you're chicken and you're a brat. You don't want to freaking sit for an hour a day, which is what it takes, and treat it like a real fucking job, because it is.
It is a job.
It's the most important job of your life. Mm-hmm. You'd sit and like put your own, content up, but so that people know who you are professionally, but you would but it's offensive that we have to do that to find love. Like, we're just so biased. So biased
about it.
So between chicken, brat, and weather reporter thinks everything sucks. Brat can't be bothered, would prefer to play with the dogs. And chicken is like truly thinks it's fucking protecting you. So we stay out of the game, and then we blame the sites. And the sites are just us, guys. The sites are just the people. That's all it is.
It's just the peeps to pick out.
Typing. That's all it is. Humans typing. Humans that you want to and love. So stop hating humans. Stop hating humans. Stop hating the site. Stop hating yourself. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, you might even think shopping is fun.
Yeah. And it'll be a whole new world, especially for those late 30s gals. Like,
yes.
Relax. It's coming.
It's a lot like taking a big shit.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like, tightening up does not help it come out. Does not help.
I know. But this is all really great advice. And I mean, all my girls are going to listen to this and love it. You've just been great. It's been great.
It's one of my favorite topics because, again, I'll just end as I began, which is that love's the most important thing. It's all we really care about on our deathbeds. And as we're modern women, we're the first generation, Sarah, that's like, we don't have to deal with that. We don't have to have kids. We don't have to be married. We don't need it.
True.
We're the first generation. So our little brains are so confused.
Very confused.
Why do we still want love, though? And can we get it from a dog? It's like a really, or our friends, right? Like, it's a really good question.
Right.
And I think that the biological answer is going to keep being, no, we really want to buddy up.
We do.
Like,
I definitely do. Don't get me wrong, but.
Yeah. So sorry.
I have to stop being chicken and what was the other one?
Chicken. Remember, Kathy?
Weather girl.
Chicken brat. and weather reporter. Like, it's raining shitty men.
Yeah, you must have loved when I began this whole chat. You're like, oh God, she's one of those.
You are speaking for 97% of fatigued daters on the planet.
Yeah, it is.
You are not alone. I hear this all day, every day. And I love to pierce it because, again, like, I look back to me 15, 16 years ago when I came to coaching, it pierced me. And I am so glad somebody said something to me because I was on the way to my parents' life, if not worse, which God love my parents. I love them, but I wanted better.
Yeah, they definitely have different lives and marriages.
Different contexts, different possibilities now, different opportunities now.
Definitely.
So I love giving this away. I give it away on Instagram all the time.
Well, everybody needs to follow you. And where else can they reach out to you if they want some more coaching on dating?
Yeah. I will tell you, here are my best ideas. Go to Laurie Gerber _coach and make sure you follow me because you'll see my free stuff all the time and you'll be directed to different free stuff. Then we have a quiz you can take. There's a couple different kinds of quizzes and I'm sure my team will give you the links to them. Okay. So just if you're in the mood for a fun little self-assessment that takes 5 minutes, like a Cosmo quiz, that could be super fun to start to see, like, where do I need to focus? We have one on love. We have one general.
Okay.
And then when you're ready to really start doing the work, which means like you're willing to go, oh, maybe it's me and my 60,000 thoughts a day. When you're ready to deal with that, you go to InnerU, right? It's actually INNER, the letter U.coach.
We can attach all this.
All the in your show notes. And we actually often have deals. I'm sure you will have your own special deal, Sarah, for this podcast. And that will actually take you through the methodology, like really doing the deeper work, the inquiry. It comes with private coaching. It comes with group coaching. I'm leading the next group coaching class. I'm very excited.
That's exciting.
So it comes with tons of bells and whistles that are insane for the price. And really meant to hold you through the whole process, like for the rest of your life, even not just even to finding love, but to like keeping it, it great. No,
but it's great advice. Honestly, I know we joke, but it really is. And like, I have a lot of work to do.
And everyone does in the areas they do, right? Everybody does in the areas they do. So thank you for that. Is nice of you to be vulnerable and, fast.
Yeah.
And
I am. That's what it is like to sit down and talk to me. It's just like, you've known me your whole life. I'm just like, all right.
I feel like that. I had so much fun.
Yeah.
And I'm sure your listeners would love to do InnerU Love with you, like alongside you, and see how you're doing.
That'll be the next episode when we get back
together.
You
be the guinea pig.
Yeah, I'll do it. You know it. All right.
If you do, you are in for a, you can go from me. You could go from me, sexless school marm, to hot, sexy kitten, right? Like I'm 16 years later, I'm like having the best sex of my life. Who'd have thunk?
Nothing wrong with that. All right. Well, thank you for spending the afternoon and taking the time to talk to us on Sessions with Sarah. I hope you come back.
Me too.
Let's do this again soon.
Give me something to come back for. Give me some good progress in your dating life. Like some actual candidates.
I will. I'll definitely. All right.
Maybe you could even bring one to the next session and we could see.
Talk about it. Yeah. All right. We'll stay here for a second. You guys, we'll see you next week. And thanks for listening to Sessions with Sarah with Dr. Sarah. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for listening to Helium Radio. The views expressed by show hosts or their guests are their own and should not be construed in any way as advice from Helium Radio. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our website. Personal perspectives expressed by the producers, writers, and editors will always be presented as such. Any rebroadcast or retransmission without the express written consent of Helium Radio is strictly prohibited. Thanks for listening.